Hi, everybody. It's 7:15. I'm now bringing the Sherborn Conservation Commission meeting of October 2nd, 2025 to order with a roll call of the members present. Michael Lesser present. Jacob?
Jacob Strauss present.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Tompkins present.
Courtney?
Courtney Eck present.
Steve?
Steve Scrimshaw present.
Matt?
Matt Olair present.
Okay, having a quorum, we'll start the meeting. We're reviewing the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be added or changed within the 48-hour rule? I guess I'll take
No.
that. Okay. Fine. I was going to take your head swaying as an answer.
I can't see around the cat, sorry.
Okay. Glad to see this. And somebody important attending. Okay. We have a few more minutes before we start the hearing at 7:20 on 54 Everett Street, or continue the hearing. Is the certificate of compliance quick?
Yes, it's the 32 Peckham Hill Road, the deck that was constructed in the place of the old deck. There were the original footings there. When we went there, all that was there was footings.
Oh, yeah.
And they've installed the 2 markers we requested. So it's all set.
It's all set. Okay. I move to grant the certificate of compliance for DP 283-0044 for 32 Peckham Hill Road. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion or questions for anybody? Hearing none, a roll call vote. Michael, aye. Jacob?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Matt? Aye. Okay, Steve?
Aye.
Courtney?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye. Sorry.
That's okay, eventually.
Did you?
Okay, we've done that, tied a bit of business here. The administrative approval applications. I see about 7 or 8. Are they all been granted?
Yes.
Okay, reading it for the record. Projects that are outside of our jurisdiction. 45 Spywood Road for a garage, 38A Bullard Street for a deck, 179 Washington Street for soil testing, 21 Goulding Street East for soil testing, 53 Green Lane for a distribution box, 27 Dopping Brook Road for a pool, and 84 Old Orchard Street for a septic system update. And there are no tree removal applications. And how about the emergency certification? Is that pretty straightforward, or do you want to?
It is straightforward. It's one that we've worked on before, a while ago. They installed fencing around a culvert. This is at the end of the lagoon for Farm Pond. But what's happening now is the beavers are mudding up the fencing, so it's creating another dam. Beaver Solutions is going to put a pipe in to bypass everything.
Okay. So that's the Board of Health has agreed to that as well?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I move that we approve the emergency certification for the required beaver.
Are we approving it, or did Joyce do it and we're ratifying
Yeah,
it?
you're just
I'll just ratify.
ratifying it.
Yeah.
I used the wrong verb. Okay. Thank you. I move that we ratify the emergency certification for beaver work at 177 Farm Pond.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion or questions for anybody? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, aye. Jacob?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Courtney?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Okay, it's now 7:20. I'm on schedule here. I am now reopening the continued public hearing for the notice of intent DP 283-0472 for 54 Everett Street. And so we will now, how do we want to proceed? Do you want to present something or?
So why doesn't Nicole present what they submitted? They prepared a response to our comments from the last meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. Good evening. My name is Nicole Hayes, wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting. I'd like to share my screen.
by all means.
Okay, how's that?
That looks good.
All
There
right,
we go.
great. All right, at the last meeting, we were talking about mitigation strategies and what we would like, what we proposed, and I'll just go over that very briefly. Before, we were talking about getting rid of entirely these livestock pens here, this shed here, also the ducks and geese pen right in through here, and to relocate it over here. And then this was a 10-foot wide, 125-foot long mitigation planting area. And then at that hearing, the commission requested that all impacts to the 0 to 50, the 50 to 100, and the riverfront areas be calculated. And we did that. So we submitted some documentation, and I'll just go over that briefly with you. So this area is the wetland area. These are the duck and aviary pens in through here. What we are now proposing, we have increased our mitigation package. The numbers helped with that. So what we are proposing and what we heard from the commission last time is that they wanted all the pens out of the wetland resource area. So we are now proposing to dismantle all of these pens and then seed this area to get them out of the resource area. Also, we will be removing the pig pens out of this area here and this shed. At the last hearing, the commission mentioned that they were going to allow this shed here and this shed here. So we are proposing to remove all this area here, remove all this area here, and do a bigger mitigation in through here. So now we are proposing, instead of a 10-foot wide, it's going to be a 12-foot wide and 340-foot long proposed planting area. There'll be 2 rows of shrubs, and that will increase nitrogen take up. It will decrease erosion. It will protect the resources with more infiltration. The pen areas are proposed to be seeded here and also them in here. And as for the impact numbers, I'm going to focus on the pens themselves because this barn and this concrete pad have been permitted as long as with the house and driveway and all that. So I'm going to focus on the animal pens themselves. So within the wetland here, there is 641 square feet of pens that will be removed and proposed to be seeded. Within the 0 to 50 foot, which is this blue line to this blue line, there is 6,882 square feet of pens and 300 square feet of sheds. And we are proposing again to get rid of all of this in here. And after we do that, there will be, so that those pens right here contribute 3,740 square feet, which will be removed. And because we're removing some of the pens here, we are relocating to this area here. So I had to include that in the 0 to 50 foot, which is 380 square feet. So the remaining impact to the 0 to 50 foot after all the mitigation is 3,945 square feet. The proposed planting area is 4,050 square feet. So it's larger than the impact area. And we're proposing 6,500 square feet of seeding in through here and here. So that's the mitigation that we're proposing. And the numbers are all outlined in the report that was provided, and I can take any questions if you have any at this present time.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll start. I just want to bring up one other condition that before we start discussing it, that I hopefully still agreed to, is that the number of animals being kept on this property will not be increased from what's there now.
Mhm.
And if anything, will basically be reduced over time by whether natural attrition or they're moved off-site. And then some areas would be basically restored from some areas that are in the inner buffer zone will be restored back to something more useful for buffer zone going forward, that this is something that will happen over time. And these would be conditions that would be in place in perpetuity in the order of conditions. I see
Yes.
Nicole nodding. So with adding that tidbit in there, or major tidbit, I'll open it to the commission first and then to the public, and then I'll go back to the commission. And maybe back to the public. Okay, anybody on the commission want to ask any questions at this point?
I don't have any questions, but I would mention that to say thank you for submitting the sort of what you have here. It looks like it's a reasonable representation of what we discussed last time, and I'm sure we'll go over some of the details after that.
Anybody else from the commission want to say anything at this point?
I have a comment or a point of clarification and maybe a question. Point of clarification, when you, Michael, when you said that the animals will, as they leave this site, there'll be no replacements. There'll be no animals coming in to keep that number constant. I just want to be clear about that. If say there are 50 animals, there'll never be, those will always be a lower number as time goes on.
That's
Is that
our,
right?
that's our understanding of the agreement.
Okay.
It's a lot of
And
work
the
to
other-
take care of them.
When it said that the barn and the house were permitted, does that mean grandfathered or permitted in some other way?
Yes.
Okay,
The barn was actually permitted,
okay,
not permitted, it has a permit.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else from the commission? Okay, I have a few more things, but first, let's go to the public to see what comments and questions. Any of I see there are a number of people here would like to have. Either just speak up or raise your hand, or just to make sure you're being seen.
We have just a question on the brown area is a pen for what at the moment?
This brown area is going to be the relocation of some ducks and chickens out of this area here.
Okay, so it's additional to what's there now. Okay.
Yeah, it's already altered, fairly altered area there. I think it's
Yeah,
almost.
it's just lawn and gravel under some trees.
Joan, did I see your hand come up? You're muted.
There I am. Hi.
Good. Hi.
I guess my question goes to the way you've planned it out now. Would that have been permitted at the beginning before anything, like when the current owners moved in and they asked for a permit to do this plan? Would you have permitted it?
When you mean this plan, you talk about the.
What you've now agreed to as what can be there and where it can be. Would
No,
that have
some of
been,
the area-
would that
some
have
of
been,
that-
would that
no.
have been permitted at the very beginning when these people just moved in and they wanted to make a plan of doing this?
Of doing all this animal and the
Yeah,
different means?
yeah.
No.
Okay, then I don't understand why it's okay now.
We're trying to do it over time as a practicality of eventually reaching something that's in compliance.
Well-
Without requiring all of the existing animals there to be immediately removed.
Yeah,
And it's a difficult situation for us. That's why the condition about no more animals there.
yeah,
And right, one doesn't want to grandfather something that was not correct in the beginning.
Yeah.
Other commissioners can comment on how we're dealing with this in that our plan is hopefully over time, over a number of years, not sure the lifespan,
yes,
that this will come into compliance is the goal, is that we're basically achieving compliance over time.
yeah.
As to be as somewhat of a compromise, but it's a tricky one for us. I acknowledge.
Yeah, well, and I understand you're being gentle with it, but understand also that there are people who lived there, that in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
and how we're concerned about how this impacts all of us
Yes, the
and the
animal.
wetlands.
Okay, I'll let, I see your hand up there. I don't know if anybody on the commission wants to speak, or we'll let Karen speak and then somebody else can comment. Okay, Karen?
I would not have done this. I made a mistake and I was told it was a right to farm town and that as long as I had 2.5 acres, it was fine. I would not have done this like this if I had known better, obviously. And the farm inspector would come and look at everything and didn't ever say anything. So yes, I am not going to get any more animals. I do not want to have to deal with having to worry. No, it's going to be natural. When they die, they're gone. And if the bottom line is, if I don't, the reason I have these animals is because they would have been put down. They would have been eaten or they would have been put down. So this is my attempt at a different type of conservation of trying to save a life. I would not have done it if I thought it was going to be a problem or such. I didn't know it was not supposed to be done.
Mhm.
I just want everybody to know, I didn't go into this thinking I'm going to beat the conservation committee and whatnot. I had no clue,
Okay.
which is
And-
my fault, but I had no clue.
Okay, and I do realize that you've purchased a different property as well on Everett Street
Mhm.
with a little more land, and I would think that now that you do understand it, that it's not
Of
going to
course.
be done
Oh.
now.
Oh, 100%.
Thank you.
I-
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate your acknowledging that. That helps me a lot.
Oh,
And
I have no plans to make anything bigger, get any more animals, do anything. No.
Right, and it would be to the extent that some animals can be moved to some other site, that would also be encouraged.
Yep.
As part of that,
Yeah.
to a reasonable place.
Yeah.
I see your hand, Monica.
Thank you.
And
Can I
Okay,
go?
you can go and then I'll come back, whether the
Okay,
commission wants to
thank you.
comment anything more about what I said.
I just wanted to say that we're all pro-farm on the street, all the neighbors, and that we moved here because we love Sherborn and we love the farms and we all support the farms. Our concern is just the wetlands and we have wells, as simple as that. And it's a big concern. I've already replaced one well and it's a huge cost.
Yeah.
And it was really, really difficult. So the other question I have is about and I've mentioned it before, the bylaw chapter 17, section 5B, the impermeable structure for the manure. Is that happening or not happening?
No,
Can I speak?
Okay, you can start. Go ahead, Karen, and
Monica, I don't store manure on site. I either put it in a truck and it gets taken away. Eric takes it away every day. I don't dump anything. It all goes away to a place, the Black Earth, and they use it for their composting.
Which is good.
I
and
don't
it's
store any manure here.
Which is
one of the conditions, before you go on, I'll just,
Okay, sure.
one thing I didn't bring up was one of the conditions we had discussed was that this manure plan of daily removal goes on in perpetuity as long as there are animals there. So that essentially there is, as she said, no storage except between the 24-hour period there, and that it's removed on a daily basis, and that goes on.
It's not
Mhm.
daily.
Yes.
I bought the dump truck, Monica, so he could take it every day. I made a mistake when I first had the animals, and I acknowledge that. That was my bad. But once I realized, I got the truck and we make sure it's dumped in the truck from the pen and taken away.
No, and I know that that's really hard work. People don't, farms are really hard work, and I understand and respect that. But I think what I'm trying to say too is that's helpful, but I'm just concerned about the residual, because the days that it rains really heavy and when we have when it snows and the ice, even when you snowplow your own driveway, you don't get every little piece is what I'm trying to say. And I'm also concerned about all the urine. That's just going into the ground too.
Yes, that's a tricky one, I'll acknowledge. Did any else on the commission want to comment on how we're doing this? Beyond what I said and the rationale?
No, I would just say that I think that the commission's taking a reasonable approach to a complicated situation. And, I don't think that there's anything that's 100% in life. So yeah, I think everybody just needs to be reasonable about what the boundaries are. And, we're trying to work with all sides to make sure that this is resolved.
And the proposed mitigation of the planting area and the seeding, that will create a natural buffer between the livestock pens now centered in the center of the site. And that will help with the runoff and the infiltration and the uptake of nutrients. So that is a betterment, not just for, that's going to help all of the situation all around.
Right. It partly addresses it. I'll just say that, since myself am concerned about the pens themselves, since they don't have a ground cover. Be nice if there would be a way to maintain some sort of ground cover in the pens. But I don't know to what extent that's even possible with seeding when you have animals like that in that density, because that's the only thing that would help a little bit more with the immediate nitrogen uptake. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what management practice could be followed in there that would make a difference other than, I don't know whether Karen, you've considered putting some hay down there that would maybe soak up some stuff and go along with the manure removal. But I'm not sure whether that's a possibility for you to look into.
I can look into it. I'm happy to look into it. I could also speak to Kathy at Unity to find out if they've had some strategies.
Yeah, that would be useful.
it-
That we should go see about that, sort of what might be doable to minimize that kind of infiltration. Fred, I see Joanne.
Yeah, on the, I like the buffer's great. But on the other side, which I abut to, you can see the contour and runoff is going right down into the wetland. I know this isn't shown as wetland, but it is wetland because it's on my property. I know it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and so I'm just wondering if there's some sort of mitigation. I have noticed more things growing in our pond, so I'm suspecting that there's a certain amount of nutrients coming into this section of wetland on the top. And is there some sort of mitigation that can be done to keep that runoff? Because as Monica said, in heavy rains, etc., you're going to get runoff down the hill, past the chicken pens and the sheep pens down into the wetland on the other side. And I have noticed this year, especially, much more growth in our pond of things that just like phosphates and nitrates. And I'm working on mitigating that myself, but I'm just wondering, could anything be done on the upper part of yeah, right there?
Right. What's there? That's where it's a little bit of a berm with some sort of various vegetation.
Yeah, there's some evergreens. I think there's cedars. I can
There's some
remember.
trees. There's some
Yeah.
trees there, and I can't remember if there's a little bit of a berm there or not.
Yeah, there is.
Fred, I think part of the problem was when we had the beaver dam and that whole thing flooded. I think then a lot of stuff, my pond the same way, a lot of stuff, now that it's gone, but a lot of the stuff in there was like in my yard, things died because of so much
Yeah.
water.
No, I agree. I think the beavers made it worse. I'm just concerned about that runoff on that hill, that's all.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, the question is whether, I don't know, bringing it back to the commission, whether there'd be something or some meaningful planting there, or whether the existing trees that are there, whether we can get a little bit more of a better buffer along that area there. I don't know whether people have thoughts about that, whether adding something there might make some sense. I see your hand up there, but I just want to talk at the commission first.
Okay.
What, I don't know, Joyce, others, whether trying to recall that site better, or that area better, whether that would be something that can boost.
It is
buffer.
vegetated. I'm trying to remember, obviously there's trees there. I don't know if we could plant a row of shrubs, just a couple of shrubs there to add to that. I just don't know how much room there was.
There's a lot of room. The trees are up against the driveway.
Yeah.
Oh, so the
And
trees
there's
come all the
no
way up.
there's no berm per se there. There are trees, but they're still on the downslope.
Okay. So it's vegetated between the driveway, the gravel driveway, and the wetland. Is almost all, that's what I sort of recall there, and I'm not quite sure what could be done. That
It's
would
something to
be,
consider. I don't know that anything can be done, but
yeah,
it's a
no,
concern. It's a concern.
yeah, no, it's a concern. And other than the fact that we'd probably make sure that that area doesn't get, in some sense, denuded, I guess. Maybe we'd add something to make sure that that area between the gravel driveway and the wetlands remains sort of well vegetated and unmanaged.
Is
one
there
thing.
ground cover there under the trees? I don't remember what that.
I don't think there
area
was
is.
too much of that.
No, it was pretty, it was
There
really
is.
just the trees.
There is some stuff, but with the water, when the beavers, they flooded that whole area, so a lot of stuff was taken out by the water.
So do you think
And the
that,
beavers actually cut down a lot of trees. They chopped down a lot of trees too, further in.
yeah. So do we want to consider maybe that some additional plantings there that would boost
So the other
basically
thing,
a little better ground cover maybe is just is almost as important actually, whether at the herbaceous level layer, even though it's quite probably shady.
We could maybe put some ferns in there that would take up some nutrients and be okay in the shade.
Okay. Well, why don't we add some sort of additional planting, restoration mitigation in that area between the driveway and the property line. Okay, thank you, Fred. And let's see, what else was there?
Mustafa.
Oh, yes, yes, Monica's, I don't know your name, but I saw your hand.
Mustafa.
Thank you.
Mustafa.
Mustafa.
Yeah. Hi, Mike.
Thank
How
you.
are
I
you?
knew there was something I had to remember.
Yeah. If we go back to September 4th meeting,
Mhm.
the proposal from Nicole to just leave one shed that is to Karen is historical, and it is wood logs and
Yep.
and now I see there were three. One was here and two here, and we don't know why this one is not being removed according to September 4th agreement or proposal from Nicole.
You're talking about the shed that she's circling now.
Which one? I don't know which one. These
Yeah,
two,
I recall, it's a good point. I recall that one of them is historical.
Yeah.
thank you.
That,
One's historical.
which is the historical?
The one on the end, that one.
This one.
Mhm.
How about this one here? What is this? This is supposed to be removed with the rest of the.
This one in here is being removed.
It's
Yeah,
being
and
taken
This
out.
one.
That
And
one,
about this one,
Are you talking about 98? We can't see what you're
number
pointing at, so
98.
yes. Okay.
Yes, number 98. That's supposed to be, according to Nicole's proposal, that we only gonna leave one historical wood log shed. Now I see two, and
I-
that should be
We never
removed.
mentioned the shed. Actually, this shed might be permitted. Karen, do you remember if this shed got a permit?
It's a, just so you know, Mustafa, it's a garden shed. I don't have anything in there poisonous. I mean, literally I have pots. And potting soil. I don't use it it's not an animal shed is my point.
But Karen, you said I would like to leave number 94 and the rest can be removed. Now Nicole
Right,
saying
but we
Nicole saying no, we're gonna leave 98 in. So who's confusing who and
my
which one
question
is?
is why do you mind it?
Say it again.
she's trying to get
Well,
at,
in the corner, the man who lived here before me built that.
Nobody.
Michael, I don't
Yeah.
know
And
that
the
it's
one to
helpful
the
to
other
have
one you're
people
pointing
going
to,
back
you're
and
right,
forth
I
and
put that in
arguing.
potting.
Mustafa asked a question, which I think the commission can answer, whether we want to, or
okay.
whether we would allow the two sheds or not. So we
Okay.
can discuss
Well,
that.
what would you like to say
Thank you.
about that?
Well, given that the plan changed between the first and the second version, and there's a larger mitigation area, I mean, we've permitted sheds in our jurisdiction before. I think it's just something that we can discuss whether it's appropriate to leave it there or not.
Mhm.
How big are these sheds?
That's 98 square feet. That's why it has a
Oh,
98.
the 98. Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask
My-
the same thing, so thank you.
My recollection was that when we were talking at the last time, when I don't, this might be wrong, but that when we were talking about the sheds, we were specifically talking about the sheds that were in the new pig pens.
Exactly.
That's why we were talking about those two.
Correct.
I remember that I remember in passing we mentioned the one at the end by the driveway, but we didn't propose any change to it.
Okay, so it's a,
I guess I'm less concerned with mitigating for 98 plus 94 square feet of impervious area versus the larger area of use for, the animals with the nitrogen loading, I guess. We've done that sort of exchange before in terms of small areas of square footage.
and it's probably not even permitted to some extent, the 98, because I think you only need a permit for anything 100 square feet and greater under the building code.
I think it's higher than that.
Okay,
Used
well,
to be
whatever
It's
it is.
200 now, Mike.
Oh, it's 200. Oh, they've made it
Yep.
easier. Interesting. Yes, whatever the discussion was on September 4th, stuff of whatever might have come out of that, we'll just try to figure something out right now, without having to rehash who said what said,
Okay.
and whatnot. So I think the general sense, I personally, as a commissioner, I'm not concerned about that potting shed there. It's not being used for animals. And it doesn't, in the spectrum of all the improvements and the existing remaining problems that will change over time, that I don't feel the need to press for the removal of that 98 square foot one there. I don't
I
know,
respect
and
that.
whether, and what you're, I mean,
I
unless you have a
respect that.
particular concern about that beyond the fact that it was talked about last time, whether you have a particular concern about that. But I'd like to hear if there's some problem with that shed.
No, I respect your opinion. Thank you. I just
Okay.
want to make the comparison between, that's all.
Oh, sure. That's quite reasonable. I appreciate that somebody's keeping track of things. So thank you. Okay. Any other issues? So we're basically adding some mitigation along the driveway.
Mhm.
The other thing I wanted to clear up was that where the pens are being removed, the yellow area that's going to be reseeded,
Yep.
that the outside area there, that area is now going to be left unmaintained. That we talked about having monuments to mark to help clarify what's not going to be managed going forward and left as natural to become more natural buffer zone. I guess I would like to see a monument or two over there, just to be clear that those areas and behind that towards the wetland will be left unmanaged.
May I ask what is a monument?
Oh, okay. These are I thought we had talked about it last time. This is something you could put on a rock. It's a little plaque that we sell at cost for whatever, $10 or $15. The little plaques that say that this is no, I can't even remember what it says anymore on it, but it's basically to mark that this is within jurisdiction and you're not supposed to do any more activity or changes behind here. You don't dump anything. I can't remember, somebody on the Commissioner Joyce will probably just be able to read off what it says on it. But it's just a small 4x6 thing that could be mounted on something fairly permanent. Often we can send you a design. Sometimes it's just done on a concrete little pillar that's placed into the ground or on a big rock that's not movable or something. Or if there was a tree, but I don't think there's any trees there. just to help guide for the future, that no work is done behind there going forward, and would avoid mistakes in the future. Joyce, did you want to say what's on it? I don't remember.
I actually
I don't
have
have
one
one in-
here if you want to see, because I have to install one in my yard.
Oh,
But it's about the size of what it looks like.
that's the exact plaque.
Yep.
There we go. Thank you, Jacob.
See, do you just put that so no one mows there or?
Exactly. It's to basically clarify just the kind of issues that came up here where people end up making mistakes without knowing. This will help. And we'd also have some of those along the side where all the plantings are, along the bottom of that picture there where the planting is done.
Okay.
And we'll figure that one out. Then the other side issue is that we got the number of plantings that you're proposing along there is, I guess it was existing lawn before. That's somewhat grandfathered. I'm trying to get at what you have now is 37 shrubs
Mm-hmm.
over what that is, that green hatched area.
Yeah,
What
so
you
it's
say is
gonna,
about 4,000 square feet.
yep,
Okay, so that is basically a little over 100 square feet per plant, which is basically 10 or maybe 11 foot on center. Now, this is different than when people cut down natural buffer zone and we have to restore it. We've gone down to twice as, the density would be twice as much as that in those cases. This is a different case there. I guess I'm going to bring it to the commission about what we think is a reasonable density of shrubs. This is not trees. Assuming they're proposing just shrubs. What we think of the mix of shrubs that they've got there. They've got the pepper bush, the blueberry, the arrowwood. What we think of those specific plants and plus the numbers.
The plant species are good.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with that.
The density,
I think it's fine.
who's I couldn't tell who was talking.
It's Courtney.
Oh, the 1 on 10 is good because I was throwing a little bit more density than that for the that area. I don't know trying to think of how big those plants will get.
Pepper bush, as long as it succeeds, will expand to fill all available
Yeah,
space.
those are gonna spread out and form like a
dense, yeah. Eventually they'll form
hedge.
a good, yeah, they'll form a hedge.
Nicole, did you specify a size?
No, but we can discuss that now, or if you want more shrubs, maybe, we'll just go a tiny bit smaller. We can discuss that where,
Let's try to resolve that now.
okay.
What size were you planning on these, or what were we?
Probably 3 to 5 feet, I was thinking.
Oh, the size of the plant? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess normally it's done by gallon. Is that the more standard unit that we?
Well, it
Regular
depends. I mean, a gallon is gonna be a smaller shrub, I think, than,
Yeah, I think what
No.
Nicole was proposing is more generous, and that's why they're spaced.
Okay, so are we specifying by height as opposed to by, I wasn't saying 1 gallon, I was saying that we use that as the unit. I wouldn't, so we're basically gonna take 3 to 5 foot plantings, is that what we would specify? Is we feel okay with that kind of?
Yeah,
detail?
I'm fine with
That
that.
seems fair.
They
Okay,
wanna do it that way.
that's a good size then. Okay, then, okay, are there any other issues outstanding? Before I guess I'm ready to close the hearing. We're sort of overdue for the next one, but
Did you want to go through the conditions, Michael?
Well, I think we have in the sense of,
I wrote them down if you want me to just.
well,
list
we
out what I
actually
have.
have started drafting them that I could, I guess I could just, you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay,
And I guess, sorry for who's coming next. I don't see who's coming from, for the next hearing, but we'll be through soon. Okay. So that's. I don't know why they've changed things here. Zoom. Okay.
So mostly just from 35. Yeah, you got it.
All right. I got it here. Okay. And I guess we're going to change. This is my questions about. I was looking for more shrubs and when I was making some comments on this. So basically, I'll run through it very quickly of that. This is the description of that. The animals will not be, there'll be no increase in the number of animals, and that they're expected to decrease over time. And as pens are vacated, fencing and structures will be removed and the areas restored, as we discussed. The 37 is about the manure plan that essentially it's removed daily from there. And I don't know if we want to add that. And hopefully you'll look into, not hopefully, you'll look into whether there's some ways to mitigate some of the urine issues, whether you can learn something from Unity Farm. All structures in the wetlands are being removed. The pig pen is being removed. And restored with conservation seed mix and then remain unmanaged. So there'll be plaques out there, monuments there, and that there'll be a 12-foot buffer zone along the edge of that there, which is part of the green that was shown there, planted with native shrubs. And I guess we're going to basically say that it's at around, I don't know, I guess we'll see. We don't know the square footage. I guess we're saying now it's about 100 square feet per plant. And I don't know the areas of the two, whether we worded it, we can change the wording. And then the aviary coops are being removed. It's number 40. 41 is about the rest of the 12-foot buffer zone. That's in the lawn. That would basically be taking out existing lawn that continues beyond the pig pen to the pond area. Then there's plaques. We'll have to go look at we'll have to work
So
out.
I looked at the plan and basically what I did was I put them at the corners of the existing pen and then at about 50-foot intervals down the side.
And that's just along one side. How about two plaques on the east side where the aviary?
I didn't think to add any on the east side. We can do
Okay.
that.
I think we should put a couple there. Every 50 feet isn't, I guess.
It's an open lawn, so they should be visible.
No, that's why I'm wondering whether we needed that density of every 50 feet. Whether,
yeah, because it's I think it's a 420-foot long. Maybe.
yeah, well, I could see 5. Well,
Well,
what,
let's
5 of them along there, 1 at the ends and 3 along the middle, and then 2 on the other side. Well, we'll figure out something like that. Then any other disturbed areas will be stabilized if there is work being done. And there's no landscape debris. I guess there'll be another condition here. And maybe we need a plaque up there too, so there might be plaques. Put about 8 for the moment here. It's just a rough note of long driveway. There will be plantings between edge. This will get worded a lot better when I'm not doing it in front of a dozen people. Between edge and the wetlands, driveway edge.
Yeah, make sure you write the gravel driveway on the eastern side.
Yeah, right. It'll be the gravel.
Oh.
We'll be more specific, don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
On east.
So do you put these plaques on a little post, or do you
Yeah.
or you glue them to a rock, a big rock?
You can, they can go on a
Matter?
post. They can go on top of a post or on the front of a post.
Okay. Like, does it have to be a tall post?
Tall, 3 feet at least,
Okay.
2 feet, 3 feet. So that it's visible, that's all.
Okay, and there's no fertilizer use and then no alterations on pesticide use, herbicide use. Well, actually, it's all you need to have pesticides here. Those are the more specialized conditions to hear, and most of these these should cover and will cover what's been discussed in the plan tonight. Any questions from anybody about this? Okay. On that note, I will, unless there's anything else, I'm going to move to close the hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Jonathan,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Jacob.
Aye.
Okay. I will
Excuse
now-
me, I didn't catch what Steve said. I'm sorry.
I said aye.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay. I am now going to make a motion that this project be approved because all of the conditions that we've discussed and will be placed on the as to what to be done will improve the conditions in terms of protecting the wetlands and gradually move them into full compliance over time as the livestock activity diminishes. And I will not go through repeating all of the special conditions that we just went over, just make reference to them in this part here. And this will improve the protection of the wetlands today, soon, and over time. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion from the commission? Or any last gasps from the public? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I, Jonathan,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay. We will put together the conditions with all the details soon. And then there's the appeal period. Just so people know that there is a period for appeal by anybody. Okay, we're gonna move on. Sorry for the delay in time to Toll Brothers. And it's hard to plan these things. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
okay,
Thank you
yeah,
for working with me. Thank you.
sure,
Thank you.
yes. Bye. Okay, I'm now reopening the hearing. Oops, sorry, I'm losing my voice here. I'm reopening continued public hearing for the notice of intent DEP 283-0473 for 84 and 86 Coolidge Street on a proposal to build a 3-story multifamily apartment buildings and all the related accessory features, and with some activity in the 100-foot buffer zone. Okay, I think we're still working on our review, and I guess as I think communicated that tonight we would get an overview of the stormwater issues and changes, because that's one of the more complicated matters that we have to decide how we go forward on that one, in terms of the fact that there might be some changes and to what extent that needs to be reviewed beyond what was done under the comprehensive permit when it was reviewed back a number of years ago. So I will, unless Joyce, did I cover what we needed for the moment?
Yes, Andrew and I have scheduled to walk the wetland line on Tuesday.
Okay, great.
And if we could have Liz tonight go over the stormwater.
Right, and then we could talk about some next steps. Okay. Okay, take it away, Liz.
All right. I'm Liz Clark. I'm with GPR. I'm the project engineer for the site. So I am going to walk you through the basis of our stormwater design tonight, go through what was approved, the DEP comments, and where we've landed and where we're going with this. So I have a couple of slides. Give me a second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, this is just an aerial overview of the site showing, it's a predominantly undeveloped site with about 6 acres of forested area. The wetlands here are highlighted in a light green. And then we have a lot of open meadow and an existing single family house. So again, under existing conditions, we have very little impervious area, about less than 1/10 of an acre. The site drains in 4 locations. These are numbered on the picture here. Stormwater goes to the C series in the central portion of the site, and that's coming largely from the uphill areas. Down over onto the left here is the westerly flowing portion of the A series wetland, and runoff does go through that area. That's the point that we looked at during the drainage design. And then we have the other portion of the A series. There is a divide right through here. Sorry, this is north. Land north is to the left of the site, and this is to the west. And then we also evaluated what's kind of coming off to the abutters over on this side of the site. Can you see my mouse as well?
Yes.
Just making sure. Yep. So when we jump to our proposed conditions, there's some change, right? We have an added impervious cover. So we're adding about 3.8 acres of impervious area. That's for the buildings, the walkways, the driveways. We're also converting some of this forested area into lawn area as well. So you can see we have a light green going around these buildings. This is where we're going to have landscaping, lawn. We're changing that meadow and that forest area to that, and then doing some level of clearing. So this does change the runoff volume associated with the site. And it can change how things are going as well, because we are grading and making this pad more level. It currently rises up and is at a high point towards the back of the site. So we do have to make things level for these larger buildings. So when we look at stormwater, our goals are to make sure that we're not increasing runoff off the site. And we do this by evaluating the peak runoff rate. Then we also want to make sure that we're not polluting. Impervious area is associated with increasing pollutants related to sediments as well as nutrients, your phosphorus. So we want to make sure we take care of those things. And we also want to ensure that we are not preventing recharge down into the groundwater, that we maintain the natural aquifers in the land. So the proposed, well, I'll call this our approved design that was developed during the comprehensive permit, did this largely through a series of 3 stormwater infiltration basins and 3 subsurface infiltration systems. So the infiltration basins are over here, here, and here. And And then we have our infiltration systems, our subsurface systems down over on these portions of the site. The soils on the site are generally good. We have positive infiltration rates relative between 8 and 2.4 inches per hour, which are very good soils. And all of these systems were able to be designed so that they do have a 4-foot separation between the estimated seasonal high groundwater and the bottom of the system. So making sure that as you are infiltrating into the ground, you know, if that groundwater does rise up, to respond to it, it's not getting into the system and preventing it from coming down. We also have water quality inlets. Those are highlighted in pink. So these help when they're going ahead of those infiltration systems to keep those systems clean, keep them functioning, and they also do reduce that sediment load and put it in an area where it can be cleaned out. So this is helping reduce the pollutants on site. And I should also add that infiltration is the best mitigation of pollutants there is for stormwater BMPs. Essentially, you're getting rid of the runoff because it's going into the ground. So you're getting rid of the pollutants. They're no longer going and discharging to the wetlands. So it is the most efficient way to get rid of nutrients in particular, and as well as it does help with those total suspended solids, those sediments you get from sanding and salting. So we have our treatment, we have our basins that are providing, and our infiltration systems that are providing that peak runoff mitigation. And those systems also provide that groundwater recharge. The basins are designed so that they're filling up and then they just overflow at these spillway areas, which are armored to prevent erosion. So you're getting your maximum retention. And we're seeing with those basins that a lot of them are not discharging during the 2-year storm, and they're holding that in and holding in significant portions of the 10 and the 100 as well. So we are recharging down into groundwater. We're exceeding the standard that's required by Mass DEP. And then we're also making sure through armoring these slopes at the spillways that we're not, you know, causing scour down the slopes of the basins or causing erosion into the wetlands. And we do have a couple of areas that run off because we have such large mitigation through the basins and the subsurface systems. There are a couple of areas where we are just treating runoff and then letting it go. And we do have water quality inlets as well as armored discharge points where we have riprap aprons, or we have a little spillway that'll dissipate the runoff, kind of encourage it to flow shallow versus channelizing it into potentially getting erosion. So this is the plan that was peer reviewed or the system, I should say, that was peer reviewed during the comprehensive permit and approved under that process. So we have since filed with the Conservation Commission, and now DEP has taken a look at the stormwater management system, and they had a couple of comments. So highlighted in blue is our 50-foot buffer zone from the BVW. We have those on both points here and here. And there is a requirement under the Stormwater Handbook that you cannot have infiltrative BMPs within 50 feet of the wetland. So we had this little kidney-shaped infiltration basin was slightly clipping into there. This subsurface system behind building 2 was very much in the 50-foot buffer, and then a little sliver of this basin up here. So we have reconfigured this basin down here, actually eliminated garage D to open up more room, and we added 2 bays which had 5 bays. We've added 2 bays to garage C and 2 bays to garage B, and then just 1 space down in here, so that we're still maintaining the 200 parking spaces that were previously approved, just moving them around and making more room for this basin, pulling it out of the 50-foot buffer, and reshaping it a bit so it works in this space now. This subsurface unit in the back, that was, get my pencil here, designed to take runoff from about half of this roof area, just about this here. And we were able to, in the reconfiguration of this basin here, eliminate this system and put the runoff into this basin now. We were able to do that with maintaining that same bottom elevation. The bottom of the basin's at 175 to make sure, again, that we're maintaining that 4-foot separation from groundwater, and without increasing our clearing at all. So I can show you what that looks like. So here's the updated plan. You can see we had eliminated that garage here. We are fully outside of the 50-foot buffer with the basin. And then over up in this area, basin is reshaped to, again, stay out of the 50-foot buffer. And we have provided the model showing that the runoff from half of building 2 can be conveyed over and the basin functions adequately. And that subsurface infiltration system is been eliminated. Questions, thoughts?
Okay.
So actually, I should just follow up. We have provided all of our responses to DEP. They did request to get our response material, and we're waiting to hear back from them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess these are things that probably the peer reviewer should have captured back when they did the comprehensive permit, I guess. So that's something for us to reflect on. Okay, I guess for us, we have to sort out how we, just on this particular, these changes here, and that it's not an unusual purview to pass judgment on whether all your new calculations meet things. We'll just have to figure out how to.
Yeah, well, like I said, we did provide everything back to DEP and they are reviewing it. So we're waiting for their concurrence that they are in agreement that we meet the standards.
Right, I guess, right. Maybe they would, I guess, right. I don't know who they use, but I guess maybe we can rely on them as the peer review.
Yeah, so they have circuit writers who review every NOI within their jurisdiction. So they're extremely familiar with the stormwater handbook and reviewing stormwater designs.
Okay, I mean, I know our circuit writer. I didn't realize what level of skill they have on sort of hydrogeology and whatnot. I can't tell if there was any. Did I remember seeing? Sorry, I should have. Was there an issue of whether you needed to do more soil testing to?
They did ask
whether that,
for
yes.
Clarity on soil testing. We did have adequate testing in each of these infiltration systems, and I provided that information back to them. Okay.
And I see basically there's relatively few things here, and yeah, so there's no changes as to many of the standards, the stormwater standards. Okay. Well, then we'll wait and see what they come back with and whether we can basically rely on that to say that that's sufficient. I would, in terms of these stormwater changes, I'm also sort of curious whether now that the basins have been reconfigured, I mean, it's a small point, but whether the basin that became a kidney bean and you replaced garage number, I think C or whatever that was, whether you
Mhm.
still need the significant apron. I can't tell if that area of grading and the apron in the buffer zone, whether that's been reduced or not, or whether that can be brought back in.
So it has been reduced.
Oh,
So
yeah,
this
there,
is my
okay.
before.
Right, okay,
And we're right up against the wetland line there, especially
okay,
down in that area. And this is my after, and we've pulled
okay.
it back substantially. So you're right. I should have highlighted that improvement.
And in the area, I guess, I guess we have to go look at the landscaping. That amount of overflow riprap, is that really needed, that? Or whether that even, it's a small thing, but whether you need that level of, that length of riprap for that size of detention.
I think with the way it was designed to function, it does have a lengthy spillway because
Mhm.
we're not designing these with outlets, and we're again trying to capture and infiltrate the majority of all the runoff in the 2-year storm and the majority on the 10 and the 100. We have a long spillway, which that allows you to have just a little bit of water kind of going over the top, which actually can help
Right.
slow down the stormwater versus if you have a shorter one and you have a lot more water channelizing and pushing through it. So it's a method to control the peak rate by having it dissipated that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess, well, that's a question that I think I know the answer because I always get it, is that these detention basins are all basically gravel, riprap bottoms, and that the idea of turning them into a more rain garden like seems to lower their stormwater retention capability and therefore does not allow you to meet the standards. Is that the issue with more vegetated?
Yeah, rain gardens tend to be designed to capture and treat just about your first 1 inch or so of runoff. You know, they're more of a decentralized treatment methodology versus something like this where you're capturing a large amount of runoff. And there's also an elevation exercise there as well. You can only pond about 18 inches in a rain garden or you're going to start to kill those plants.
Mhm.
So no, I am a fan of rain gardens and would like, you know, try to weave them in where I can. But in this case where we're trying to detain large amounts, it just doesn't really work out.
Mhm. Okay. That's what I sort of suspected, but I keep wanting to push.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll open it up to other questions that might come from the commission.
For the two subsurface infiltration systems, how does the overflow for those two areas work?
Yeah. So these systems are designed to be piped out. So I haven't found my pencil yet. Got it. So there's an outlet over here for this one.
Okay.
And when it'll come out, when water dissipates, it'll come out and it'll go to the riprap apron. And it has been set back more than 50 feet from the wetlands in this case. And then down here on this basin, we have an outlet that's coming out and being dissipated over in the corner. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the commission at the moment?
Yeah, I do. The can you go back, zoom back out?
So, yeah. Hang on.
Is that in a butter at the very bottom, right in the middle? I'm just wondering if anything's been done to make sure that there's no excess runoff going into that property, assuming it isn't a butter.
So that's 86 Coolidge Street. I'm Will Adams with Toll Brothers,
Yeah.
on the development team. So we are actually in contract to purchase that. So the back portion of that property will be incorporated into this project.
Okay. Then,
But I'll let Liz talk about the runoff, but I just wanted to talk about the ownership of that parcel.
Yeah. So this is the runoff here. We have it captured and conveyed away from this property. So we have our outlets over where I circled in red, and then we have on this side of the property again up here. So that relates back. I'm gonna flip back all to that design point 2, where we evaluated, there's roughly a split in how the wetlands flow. We have wetlands going this way, flow going this way and that way. So we evaluated this point holistically from runoff coming over here and as well as the runoff coming over there. So yeah, we have considered that.
Okay. Any questions from the public who's attending? Since I don't see everybody, just speak up.
I'm sorry, it's me again. Is 86
Oh, yeah.
going to become part of the project, or are you just buying it and, what do you intend to do with it, Will?
So the back half is required, where that third building that's sort of parallel with Coolidge Street is currently 86 property. So we're gonna cut it in half, and then probably at the end of the project, we will then resell the existing home at 86 Coolidge.
So hang on, that kind of appears here. So the lot is getting cut, and this will be the new 86 lot.
Right.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
And just to orient me, because I drive by that every day.
Okay.
There's a house is there a house to the right of 86 that's kind of a mess, and it's sort of
that's that's 84.
That one,
84.
And it's been falling apart every single one of the 10 years that I've lived in town, kind of.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. You don't want to go in there right now. Trust me.
Okay.
It's not pretty.
Okay, any questions from the commission or the public? Speak up. Okay, hearing none. Thank you for the stormwater presentation. Yeah, it's not something we usually get to see. And we'll wait and see what DEP says about the next steps there, and that way we can move on there. Does that make sense, Joyce, on the stormwater stuff? Okay.
Yes.
So as a next step, where do you think we are in our review as the next step? And do you have any thoughts, Joyce?
We're going to review the wetland line and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
We also would like to set up, my understanding is some of the commission members would like to see the property. So I talked with Andrew about setting up a site walk. I will send out a poll to see what days work better. And we'll see if he can make it also at that same time. Are any of the buildings roughly staked out?
I don't believe so. I think I saw.
They were in the past.
Okay.
Actually. I don't know whether that would be, I don't know, Andrew, whether that's something.
Maybe actually, I'm sorry, you're right. There are some stakes out there. I forgot. My apologies. And I also
and a deer hunting up in the tree.
And I also wanted to add, I apologize. Our landscape architect couldn't make the call this evening, but will be available at the next hearing. So, because I'm sure that's something you all want to get through.
Oh yes.
Figured.
You're very perceptive. Okay, I see a hand raised before I get back to this. Well, actually, before you go, John.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be useful if, before we have a site visit, that the stakes for the three main buildings, especially the one in the back, which is, well, whatever, for the three main buildings to be laid out there. The ones along the road, I guess, are a little easier because it's all very heavily disturbed area and there's already existing house, but is that something that would be possible to reconfirm those stakes?
Yeah, we'll get that done.
Okay.
And I would just chime in and say that having done the fieldwork out here, there certainly are a few stakes remaining. Knowing that Joyce and I will be on property early next week, I'm more than happy to check how many of those are out there, and then we can make a game plan as a team to make sure the rest of them are put up for you guys.
Okay, great. Appreciate that. John, sorry.
Hey, Joyce, so can abutters join the
You
site?
should introduce yourself and address.
Sorry, John Hargrave, 49 Rockwood Street. Joyce, could abutters join for the site walk?
That's up to the applicant.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with it. No.
Okay, great. Joyce, how do we know when that's happening?
If you,
Can I email your sherbornmass.org?
yes, that would be great, and I'll let you
Okay.
know when it's scheduled.
Okay, appreciate it. Well, I got my hand raised. Does anyone know what happened to the well testing? My understanding is that was postponed or
No,
paused.
it was done. It didn't go to the next level, and I'll mess this up. So Liz would say it a lot more eloquently than I will, but basically there's not enough water quality to continue on to do a quantity test. So well water's off the table.
So good news for the permit to get the
Right.
water from a neighboring town.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
just to, you kind of flipped it there.
you.
There's not enough water quantity to
Quantity,
get,
right,
yes.
right.
I did it backwards.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
did.
Liz.
It's all
I
right. It's
knew
been
I'd
a
mess
long
up.
day.
Yeah, tell me about it.
There was initial testing done on the wells, and we had a hydrogeologist out there to witness everything. It's the step drawdown test, and after doing that, they concluded that there isn't enough water to serve the project, and we did not do the prolonged drawdown test. So we have those records. We've submitted that to DEP, and we have also submitted the draft environmental impact review report, and draft Interbasin Transfer Act application to MEPA, and that will be published in the Environmental Monitor the 8th, which is, I think, next Wednesday. There is going to be a public comment period open until November 7th, and then a certificate will be issued on the project from the Secretary on November 14th. So we are moving forward with our other large filing, and we were just meeting with the North Sherborn Water Sewer District prior to this meeting. Actually, we still are. We have another guy over there right now.
Okay.
You guys realize Liz is juggling 2 Sherborn calls right now.
Okay. How long was the drawdown test? Even though it's not relevant to that.
The step testing, I think that was conducted in a day, less than a day. So the prolonged drawdown testing would have been 5 days, I think, if I have my timeline correct.
Well, it varies depending on projects I've seen, but no, okay, so it was only about a 24-hour.
Yeah, so it was
enough for good. That's not a lot of water wasted. And time.
What do we need to set a
Yeah.
next meeting?
Yes, I'll let John go again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand, Liz. So what's getting filed soon? Will you just say that one more time?
Yeah, so the project is undergoing review of the Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act, MEPA. Previously, under the first proponent, Pulte, they were issued their environmental notification form certificate. So that's kind of the first step in the process where you're like, hey, here's the project, this is what we're thinking. And then you get a detailed scope for your environmental impact review. So we submitted the draft environmental impact review, which is your intermittent step going towards your final environmental impact review. So that is submitted. And like I said, the comment period will be open. It's about 1,100 pages.
Okay. Light reading. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right.
Yes, now, part of I assume, John, I don't know how much you know that the testing was done because of, if you're getting water from a neighboring town, it's coming from the MWRA, which is a different watershed than where the project is. And DEP always wants to review that issue of when you're taking water from one watershed to another, if I'm using the right term. And so you have to show that you can't get enough water from your current watershed before they allow you to take water from another. Was part of it as a sort of a simplification of why the testing was done.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we'll are we gonna so we'll just basically continue? What do you think, Joyce, for
We're
2
going to
weeks? Then
continue
we could
this to
go-
the next meeting?
Yeah, and then at what time? Well, I guess we'll work out a time.
We don't need a time now.
Right, we don't need a time now, but we'll make something, we'll work something out with the applicant. Okay, so at this point, I'll just move to continue this hearing until October 16th.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, aye. Steve?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Courtney?
Aye.
Okay, that's it. See you in a few weeks, couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. Okay, moving on. Let's see, we have now
Minutes?
minutes. Yeah, I just want to get through everything else that we have here. I've done this, we've done that. There's no warrant. We have the minutes. We're not doing anything on the tree mitigation policy. And you have any site issues?
No.
Okay. Fine. And the last agenda item we have here is our minutes.
Well, I couldn't find them.
Couldn't find them. Uh-oh.
There's
Is
a
the-
there's a minutes folder in the.
Did you
in
see?
the-
Did you see did you see the meeting folder? Can you get to that? I guess that's your fundamental problem is you couldn't see the October 2nd meeting folder.
Or is this the SharePoint you have to hit reload or you have to,
Ah, yes, right.
you looked at it too
If
early?
you kept it open for too long, then you're
Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it.
now I guess what I could do is I've read 3 of them, but I can pull them up and going in the earliest. I don't know how many people-
213.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up 213 first. And I could share the screen if that's we can go through since it's a little later than our usual, but we would like to get some minutes done. Okay. What's going on here?
I'll just add that I did read through them. I had one question about the May one, but the other ones looked reasonable to me.
Okay. So I don't know, has anybody, I guess somebody see at least one set of minutes?
If you give me like 3 minutes, I'll get through 1 or 2 of them quickly.
Okay. Well, Steve, what's your, Jacob's read them?
I'm fine with these.
I have not read them. I'm sorry. I'm still looking for them here in the files.
Or you can look at it on the screen or the February 13th. And we can do it a little of the slow way.
I'm totally willing to defer to you all on so we can get it done.
Okay, well, we're gonna give Matt time to read a bunch of them
Okay, I'm good on the first one.
on the 3rd. Okay, February 13th.
213, I'm good to go.
Let me see if I have any questions here. One of them I had a question on, but I guess. Okay, I move that we approve the draft meeting minutes for February 13th, 2025 as presented here.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Jonathan.
Aye.
I guess Jonathan, it's hard for you to do since you weren't there for any of
Yeah.
it, but let's see, on the next ones,
227.
the 27th, I'm opening here just to see for sharing. Let's see if I had any questions here. I guess you're reading them separately. I didn't have any questions myself here.
I don't have any questions on this one either.
Okay, we'll give Matt a few minutes. Oops, blocking you out a little bit, but.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay. I move that we approve the February 27th, 2025 minutes as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Jacob,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Jonathan.
Aye.
And just so you know, some people abstain if they haven't been to things like that. Is a viable option. You can make that executive decision.
Do we want to maybe just do one more tonight and then we can all read the rest of the other two offline so we're not staring at each
Okay.
other reading these?
Well, I will push for us to just get these done because we are a
that's
little
fine.
behind.
No problem.
That's the
Then
only
you're-
reason. Otherwise, I'd be with you 100%.
No. As long as you don't mind staring at me for 90 seconds while I read each one, that's fine.
No, I don't mind
All
at
right,
all.
I'm going to
I
be reading a
appreciate you
couple
being
myself.
willing to speed read.
Well, I'm reading
So
the
313
13th I
next,
already
Michael.
read. I'm going to the next one. 10th. 10th I haven't read. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with March 13.
Okay. Somebody make a motion and go, hey, Courtney, you can go through the
I
motion. of the
move to
motion.
approve the meeting minutes from March 13th, 2025.
Second.
Keep going.
Oh, well, I'm not running the meeting.
You could run a vote. I don't
Any
think it's-
further discussion? No? Anyone? Roll call vote. Michael,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Jonathan.
Abstain.
Okay. Courtney, aye. Boom. Did I miss anyone? No, I didn't miss anyone. Terry's not here.
I'm gonna go along with ask for some forbearance like Matt did. I'd like to read, the other ones are long and they have a few ones that I'd like to read more carefully.
Okay.
I'd like to put off the next two to next meeting and we can read those two.
Certainly. So I'm going to try and do several more next week. I won't do them just before the meeting, but if you could read them over the weekend, because a lot of these have been in the file folder for a little bit. So I'll be more diligent about sending you a text to say they're ready. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, this is great. This is phenomenal progress compared to where we've been, so.
Well, the town clerk has requested that we get our minutes in order.
Okay, nothing like a little external pressure. Okay, good. So let's see, is there anything else I don't think there's anything else on the agenda.
No.
So there's nothing to sign. There'll be a poll.
Oh, yes. There are
Oh.
two.
Oh, the
Thank
certificate of
you.
compliance.
There are two signature sheets behind the building for you to sign.
Okay, and they're there now?
They're there now.
Okay, great.
Don't forget, everybody, when you've signed, text everybody else, so we see when we get up to 4, and because somehow last time we had a whole 5. But
There was 6 on one.
ooh, somebody signed twice. Okay. So, then, I'm trying, where the hell's my agenda? I guess losing my mind. Oh, there's the agenda. Okay. I don't see anything. Okay. We're all done then. I move to adjourn
Second.
at 8:52. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, aye. Steve,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Jonathan.
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
meeting adjourned.